this club for 12 years. You're probably wondering, haven't I got the skills yet? Why am I still here at Toastmasters? Well, the reason I'm here is that I want to continue to develop my skills. Now, when we think of athletes and great runners, tennis players, golfers, they have basic skills, the skills of sport. They continue to practice every day. And musicians, do you think a professional violinist stopped practicing the day he left the conservatorium? No. I am here to continue my journey as a speaker, and I'm going to work through my Competent Communicator Manual again for the 4th time. I got inspired by Melody last week. She's done 9, but I'll never catch up to that. But first, some information about myself. For the newer members of the club, you may be wondering how old I am. I'm not going to tell you how many years I've been on this planet, but I'll give you a clue. I have 2 daughters who are aged 22 and 24, and my greying hair has got nothing to do with raising girls. However, I do think age is not how many years we've been on this planet, but our whole approach to life. So I think by approaching life with a positive attitude and a willingness to grow and try new things indicates an approach which is not really directly associated with my physical age. And that's one of the reasons I like to have younger friends, because I enjoy their optimism and enthusiasm. So you may be wondering about my job. Well, in the last, 20 years or so, I've been working in information technology. I was doing software training and e-learning development, which sounds very technical, but it's all about teaching people to use technology. But sadly, that job got made redundant back in February this year, about the 4th redundancy in my life. And after much procrastination and a short trip to Vietnam and Cambodia for a holiday, I enrolled in an English teaching class. So I now have a qualification as an English teacher, and so now I'm looking for work in English colleges. And the reason I chose English teaching is because I really enjoyed mentoring new members in this club, and those members that had English as a second language. So I realised that that was the way forward for me. I like helping people communicate in English. Now, one of the things I really like about this Toastmasters Club is the huge range of topics we get in speeches, and they are far more interesting than what you hear in the workplace. None of these boring accounting and corporate mission statements. We've had some fantastic speeches in this club. And I'd like to tell you about a past member of this club, a Korean man named Chi Kun Son, who went by the name of Sydney, for obvious reasons. It's a lot easier to say. But Sydney gave many speeches about Korean culture. And one of his speeches, with visual aids, he spoke about the Korean writing system, which is called Hangul. And he had this beautiful big flip chart, paper. He'd written out all the symbols. He then explained the logic of the language and how it was pronounced. And I was so inspired by his speech that I decided to teach myself to learn to read and write Korean, which I can now do. And another speech, he talked about kimchi, which is that lovely pickled vegetable with garlic and vinegar. And not only did he use it as a visual aid, but it was also a olfactory aid because the smell was so strong. And Jan was the Toastmaster that day. Sydney presented Jan with the kimchi. It was homemade, by the way. He said, for you, take home. After Sydney left, Jan said, do you want it? So I took it home, fumigated the office refrigerator in the process, took it home, loved it, but the family complained all the time about it. But actually, since then, I have become very interested in learning Korean, and teaching myself using books and online videos and meeting Korean people for practice, both online and in person. And one of the things I like about learning a foreign language is that it's the way to connect with another culture. Even if you only know 10 words, hello, how are you? You only need a few words to make that connection with people. And that's what I like. During my English teaching, I could always shock the Korean students by casually speaking in Korean, saying, oh, what is your name? Or my name is Charles, and they just think, my God, he speaks Korean. Because in Australia, the only languages, or Asian languages that people will learn is usually Mandarin or Japanese. So just in conclusion, what lies ahead for me? Well, first of all, I've got my English teaching second career that I wish to establish. I'm going to get going with that, fulfilling my love of helping people teach English. And secondly, I'm here in Toastmasters. I want to keep building up my skills, and I want to help others along that journey and sharing my stories and ideas and experience. So, Mr. Toastmaster.